Let's have a little giggle at the pen. Keep giggling as we bring on our next act. His name is Simon Whitaker. I'm not going to let go of the microphone. Simon Whitaker, come on.
God help us all. Thank you, Nate. Oh, this is lovely. My name's Simon. I'll tell you a bit about myself. I'm looking for love at the moment. I'm not single, I've just been married a really long time. I just want someone, anyway, to love me. My wife's not here tonight, she stayed home. She was going to come, and then she saw that Grand Designs was on TV, and so she stayed to watch that instead. She would literally rather stay at home and watch a pair of twats building a triangular house than come and support her husband at a comedy gig. So that's nice. She's quite posh, my wife. She went to quite a posh school. She went to her school. They taught them that the 3 R's were reading, writing, and Radio 4. And they did. Although I'm also a bit posh. I went to quite a posh school. I lived in a very posh area, a very, very, very like white middle class suburb. Like the kind of place I grew up was the kind of place where people would burnish their liberal credentials by saying things like, actually, some of my best friends are Catholic. It wasn't very diverse, so obviously I'm very much at home in Oxford, you know. Although Oxford is sometimes a little bit too woke, even for me. I don't know if you saw over the summer the posters for the Cowley Road Carnival, and they said, love music, hate racism, Cowley Road Carnival. And, oh, that's all right, but it's not very inclusive, is it? You know, my grandma hates music and loves racism. Where's she supposed to go? Where's she supposed to go for the weekend? I googled it. Apparently, it's Wetherspoons in Didcot. So now we know. Yeah, the other poster that confuses me at the moment is that one for Uber. Do people know Uber? We don't really have Uber in this part of the world, do we? Do you know Uber? Give us a huge cheer if you know Uber. I only said that because I'm recording it and I got a big cheer. So for those of you who don't know, I mean Uber, imagine a Silicon Valley sociopath set up a taxi company, but they didn't have any taxis, and all the drivers were sex offenders. That's basically Uber. And so their new poster campaign, it says, Uber, all our drivers undergo strict safety checks before driving you. And that's it. That's the poster. Like, you know, call me an old traditionalist. Do you remember when ads used to be aspirational? Smoke Hamlet cigars and die from the deluxe form of lung cancer. And you know, and now there's this Uber advert, which is basically just a sort of thinly veiled reassurance that you won't get murdered on your way home from a night out. It seems like advertising has fallen. I've got some ideas for them for the next adverts. Maybe Uber, our algorithms have detected you're unlikely to be assaulted. Or Uber, marginally safer than hitchhiking with a Welsh lorry driver. But I wonder, when I see that poster, you know, about the strict safety checks, I want to know how Uber reconcile that claim with the story I saw on the BBC News website recently under the headline, Virginia Uber driver was Somali war criminal. And seriously, Google it, guys. It was a story about a guy called Yusuf Ali. He was an Uber driver in the state of Virginia in the US until he was unmasked in court a couple of months ago as a fugitive Somali warlord who had killed and tortured thousands of people. Now, to be fair, the advert doesn't say how strict the strict safety checks are. But I would like to think that it would filter out the mass murderers. Do you know what I mean? That feels like table stakes at this stage. And that BBC News article, by the way, you really should look it up. It was wonderful. The second paragraph of the article said, until last month, Mr. Ali was an Uber driver in Virginia and had an impressive 4.89 rating. I feel like there are more important things to tell us about Colonel Ali at this point in the story. Do you know what I mean? To be fair to him, he only ever achieved 3.42 for torturing, so he's found his niche, which is nice, living his best life. You know, and it's not hard to keep hold of your 4.89 rating when anyone who crosses you ends up in a shallow grave without any teeth. Then we caught him because an FBI agent booked an Uber and they told him your driver's name is Colonel Ali. He'll be driving a 1992 Toyota Hilux with rear-mounted Kalashnikovs. It was a bit of a giveaway. So yeah, I don't trust Uber very much. I don't trust any of the big tech companies. You know, I don't trust Amazon at all. I really don't trust Amazon. Well, they've messed up the high street for a start, haven't they? They've killed the high street, Amazon. I used to love going to the high street, and I haven't been for years now because I've already got a phone and I don't vape. So, no point. And that's Amazon have done that. And the other thing about Amazon is they're always trying to solve crazy problems that don't need solving. I don't know if anyone saw this. Jeff Bezos, the guy who runs Amazon, the world's richest man, he recently said he's got so much money that he's going to spend it all on a space station and we can all go and live in space because the Earth's getting too crowded. And I don't think that's genuinely a problem. I don't think Earth's too crowded. And if it is a problem, I definitely don't want Amazon to solve it. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like being flown to space by Amazon is what we all dreamed of as children. You know, picture the scene. You know, your mum and dad decide to spend their retirement in space. So you drive them to spaceport, you wave them off. You know, bye mum, bye dad. Sends a space card, and that's only the second time that line's got a laugh, and I love it. So you guys are banging. And then 2 days later you get the email, you know, sorry, there was nobody in at the space station, so we left your parents behind a wheelie bin on Uranus. Not what you dream of for your parents, is it? I mean, if they're scratching around looking for things to spend their money on, well, maybe they could fix Amazon recommendations, couldn't they? Because those are shit. Like, that could impact us all right now, you know. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, I bought a lawnmower on Amazon. And ever since that day, every time I log on to Amazon, they recommend that I buy a second identical lawnmower. And I just don't know what I'm supposed to do with two identical lawnmowers. You know, maybe invite a friend round for a lawnmower party, or saddle them both up and ride them across the garden like John Wayne on a pair of wild Mustangs, you know. And it's got even worse because they've added this save and subscribe feature now. And they're recommending that I can subscribe to the lawnmower and have a new one delivered every month. And that's not a problem I needed technology to solve for me. You know, I've never been sat there at the breakfast table and had my wife running with a pained expression on her face because we're running short of lawnmower. So maybe fix all that stuff first and then fly us into space. That would be a good way to do it. How are we doing for time? I'll tell you very quickly. I did tell you a bit of a lie earlier. I told you that I don't go to the high street anymore, but actually I've started going back because I've got a new favourite shop on the high street. We've got one in my town, you've got one here in Oxford, you've probably got them wherever you live. It's the Polish shop. I love the Polish shops. Anyone here ever cheer for Polish shop? Yeah, we're all right. Yeah, seriously. If you haven't been to the Polish shop, guys, go straight away. A couple of reasons. First of all, the beer fridge at the Polish shop is amazing. Like, we like to think that we're good drinkers in the UK, but we are rank amateurs compared to the Olympic gold medalists of drinking who are Poland. They really know how to drink. In my local Polish shop, they've got cans of Polish light beer for £1 a can, right? Proper size can. Polish light beer, £1 a can. Polish light beer is 6.5%. I bought a 4-pack last weekend. I drank them all in one night and I almost went blind for less than £5. It was incredible value for money. The other reason that I love the Polish shop, this one's a bit personal to me, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. You see, I was born with a condition called supermarket face. It's not funny, guys. I was born with a condition called supermarket face, and supermarket face is when you're born with the kind of face where every time you go to the supermarket, people look at your face and ask you which aisle the gluten-free pasta is in. But it doesn't happen to me at the Polish shop, because nobody goes there for gluten-free pasta. Polish light beer. Until the last time I was there, I was at the Polish shop, I was minding my own business, having a basket full of Polish light beer, and this guy came up to me and he went, excuse me. And I could just tell instantly, I knew from the, you get a sixth sense for this thing, I knew what was coming, you know. He said, excuse me, do you speak English? Like that? And I went, oh, God, I've got one shot at this, haven't I? Basically, to, you know, get him to leave me alone. Problem is, I don't speak any Polish. So I had to just think, right, off the top of my head, I just, bang, looked at him straight in the eye, said, 9. Which sounds silly, but if you think about it, you know, Poland right next to Germany. Not so very long ago, Poland, part of Germany. You can choose not to laugh at that if you like, but it did happen, I'm afraid. I like my history like I like my women. Truthful, even when it hurts. So I looked at him and I said, 9, and his face lit up, and he said, Deutsch, wo ist die glutenfreie Pasta?